Welcome to the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks. This is a podcast that invites you to remember who you are, return to yourself, and rise into your highest and best soul self. Every week, I will be sharing inspiring conversations about topics that hold keys to your awakening. My mission as an international evidential psychic medium, Reiki practitioner, and intuitive mentor is to help you rise into who you were born to be. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Intuitive Rising podcast. I'm your host, Amy Brooks, and we're here today with the April guidance and energetic forecast. So this is for April 2024, and wowza. Let's dive right into it, shall we? I've already pulled the cards. As you know, my process, I pull a tarot, an oracle, and a soul's journey lesson card for each of our calendar months. And I kind of bring a heads up about perhaps how the energy might feel for us, and some lessons that are coming in to be focused on, and how to best align with all that, what that really means for us. And then in the moment, I take a moment to connect to spirit and tap into an animal messenger for the month, a number, and a color. So, as I said, let's dive right into it. All of these cards are very aligned with each other. I will tell you that. I kind of pulled the cards and went, okay, yeah, there's definitely a theme for the month of April. So, let's start with tarot. I pulled the card from the Light Seers Tarot. Those of you on YouTube will be able to see the card as I'm about to hold it up now. There we go. The Seven of Wands comes in for us in April with guidance. If you are listening to this and not able to see the card, I'll just briefly describe it to you. There is a woman sitting crisscross applesauce style on what looks like a cushion, and she is very much in her Zen space. She looks very calm. There is a bubble around her, and then below there are wands, right? Kind of coming towards her, almost looking as if they want to burst her bubble, but she's very calm and zen within it. And so, what does this mean for us for the month of April? Well, I will tell you the first thing that came through when I pulled this card was I heard, not my monkeys, not my circus. Okay. So this is a month when we are being asked to rise above. There's kind of a feeling in general. There's a lot of activity, is what I hear in this moment. And so I feel like there's a lot happening collectively. Certainly, we might see this in our world events, news stories, things like that. I feel like there's an uptick, is what I'm hearing. So there might be a lot kind of coming at us, and we're hearing about a lot in the month of April. I am being shown a newspaper, and what's coming in with this is encouragement to really be mindful about the content that you are absorbing in the month of April, whether that be newspapers, internet stories, Instagram, and there's certain things that people are bringing up. Just be mindful about what you are consuming when it comes to um, what I'm hearing is trash, like what I mean by that is like fear based, kind of drama filled. What's coming to mind right away is, this whole hoopla that's going on with Kate Middleton and the Royals and where the heck is Kate and all of that stuff, right? Maybe there's going to be more coming to the surface around that, but they're using that, they're showing it to me as an example to say like, hey, like, why are we so invested in this? What is it really trying to say about us and ourselves? So just be mindful about the trash, quote unquote, that you are consuming this month. If it doesn't feel aligned to you, or if it's bringing you into a place of fear or lack or just kind of low vibes, good sign, good indicator to step away. I'm seeing like, when a garbage truck or a snowplow or something backs up and they put on the little beep, 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 the reverse lights and sound. That's what I'm hearing. It's like back up, reverse might not be the best for us. So in general, there's stuff coming at us, right? It feels like it's kind of a busy month energetically. It feels quite busy mentally as well. And I think this is why we are being asked to watch what we consume, because we don't want, what I'm hearing is like, don't feed the fire. Okay. So April maybe a month when we're feeling, oh, this came in last night when I did a weekly collective guidance message for for my Instagram followers. So last night, we're now the first day of spring. We're the first day of Aries season when I record this. So I know that you're listening to me in the future. But this Aries kind of energy feels kind of busy. And if there was a lot coming in around fears resurfacing and how a lot of us are sabotaging ourselves. There's a lot of fears bubbling up and keeping us stuck and stalled. There was, and I'm going to repeat it here because it's really relevant. Um, there is a message with the Seven of Wands around personal responsibility. And this did come up in the live that I just mentioned. There was guidance for us from the bee. This came in this live, and it was essentially saying, hey, some personal responsibility around what you're consuming, what you're allowing to eat at you, what you're allowing to irritate you, what you're choosing to pay attention to. Some personal responsibility is needed around what you're avoiding, what you're procrastinating on. And so, some really good guidance that came in during this live that I feel bears repeating in this moment was around asking ourselves questions to really get to the root of the fear. Okay, so this is kind of your theme, right? I'm seeing like what's it called, when you go to a tourist attraction, say maybe I'm thinking of in Montreal, and I can't remember what it's called, but there's an area to go. You climb up this big hill and then you stand and you can basically see the whole view of Montreal, and it's gorgeous. But they have these little machines, you put quarters or something in, probably toonies or loonies at this point, and you can just kind of zero in on what you're looking at, right? The name escapes me, but you know what I mean. And you're able to see the big picture. So you're being asked this month to see the big picture. And the tools that you're being asked to use to be able to do that is observation, right? Putting yourself into observation mode, and being really, really mindful of what it is that you are consuming, where you're putting your energy, the things, the interactions that you're having, and if you're allowing some miscommunications or some minor inconveniences to really affect you, right? Okay, so let me just see what else Spirit wants to bring about this. I keep hearing we need more calm in the month of April. So I'm also hearing hot headedness. So some of us may be feeling, I love this with the Aries energy because a stereotype, this zodiac is full of stereotypes when we think about, oh, what makes a Virgo or what makes a Capricorn or what makes an Aries. A major stereotype with Aries, which by the way, I do not agree with. I know that not everybody who is in Aries is this way, can be kind of the stubbornness or this fiery kind of hot-headed individual. And although I don't agree in the stereotype that everyone is that way, and I know the true kind of essence and energy of Aries, Aries is an initiator, right? Aries gets us going. um, we might be feeling like we are on overdrive in the month of August. No, not August. I said that last night too. I don't know why I'm getting ahead of myself there month wise. I meant to say April, but we'll just put that on the back burner for now. Food for thought. Why have I called April August now twice in the last 24 hours? Perhaps something similar will be coming in for August. We'll have to revisit that at the time. But essentially, there was this feeling kind of coming in about potentially maybe feeling a bit irritated with oneself and irritated with those around us. And, that's where this, like, not my monkeys, not my circus comes into play. That's where this image of this lady in her Zen space with this bubble around her, even though there are people kind of poking the bear, so to speak, comes to play. This is our encouragement. This is our encouragement to focus on what is trying to burst the bubble, right? Our personal responsibility this month is getting clear on what is keeping you from feeling peaceful. What is keeping you from feeling comfortable, right? And coming back to this guidance around asking yourself questions. So last night, this came in around personal responsibility, around avoidance and procrastination, and potentially the irritation that we may be feeling with ourselves. And the people that were listening, a lot of people agreed that they've been feeling a little bit irritated. They're like getting on their own nerves. And I am in agreement. I have been feeling that way as well. Um, right? So we ask ourselves the question, why am I feeling irritated? Right? Answer the question. The first thing that comes up, what is it? Okay, you've got your answer. Someone is making you feel defensive or like you need to explain yourself. All right, why do you feel defensive? Why do you feel like you need to explain yourself? Then another answer comes forward. You might be very surprised with the information that's revealed to you in this exercise. And really, it's a way to get to the root of what is actually going on here and why are you irritated? Um, why are you feeling like you need to explain yourself? Why do you feel defensive? What is underneath all of that? And so that's one thing that we're majorly being asked to do. And because that seems like quite a big task, right? And might be out of some of our comfort zones, that is why we're being asked to bubble ourselves, kind of shield ourselves from that trash that I spoke about earlier, from the things that we don't need to be engaged in, right? The stuff that cloudies up our vision, that keeps us in a lower vibration, feeling fearful. Okay, we don't need more of that, right? If we're dealing with our own stuff and we're resurfacing our own fears, we don't need to add on all of that too. So April clears out the cobwebs, is what I'm hearing. This is the potential. This is the activation of the month of April 2024, is cleaning out the cobwebs, right? The mental cobwebs, the energetic cobwebs. This is what April wants to do. Okay, so let's move on. That was our tarot message. Now we're going to move on to Oracle. Pardon me. I'm just going to take a little sip of water. Okay, so I was guided to go to a deck that I haven't used in many years, actually, and it is called Aboriginal Spirit Oracle by Mel Brown. And I kind of laughed when I pulled the card because I'm like, of course, the oracle message for us this month is saboteur, as in sabotage. And look, I am just cluing in rather at the imagery. Look at this person. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see. If not, I'm going to describe this to you. There's a card, a lot of black and white imagery with a little bit of color. So this person looks as if they're suspended in the air a little bit, which I feel is really, really beautifully aligned with that message of rising above. This person is also looking to be sitting crisscross applesauce with their hands up in the air. So a very Zen like pose, very similar to the Seven of Wands. And then we're seeing these kind of rainbow colored waves coming off of them. That very much reminds me of the chakra system. And so this imagery, in fact, is so very similar. And I didn't realize that until this moment. This is why we should always take a moment with the cards, look at the imagery before we go to the guidebook, and see what intuitively comes through, any connections we can make, any correlations, similarities. I do encourage you to sit with your cards a little bit before immediately going to the guidebook. Speaking of the guidebook, I do want to go to the guidebook though, because I feel like the information in this guidebook is so on point that I'm just going to read it to you. So there's two parts. Okay, there's an explanation of the card, and then there's a little info with the card. So I'm going to read it all to you. Okay. All right. So, saboteur. So often we look for the dark and the omnious. Being in the long black trench coat, hiding his face beneath the brim of his dark hat, trying to be inconspicuous, yet scary as hell, if you were unlucky enough to meet up with him in the light of day. Rarely do we understand the person that we fear the most is our own very self, for we are our own saboteur. Oh my goodness, this reminds me of last night when I talked about the bee in that live, and I shared a story about fear of bees and how that has shown up and what spirit has taught me about that. And one thing I shared was I learned I was afraid of myself, afraid of my own potential. So I love how aligned that message is with this card. We too often look for reasons to fail and to blame others when things don't go so well. We sometimes forget to look inwards and look at our own role in each scenario and explore how we could have influenced the situation ourselves. A little tough love coming in for us in April and personal responsibility. This message is being repeated. Okay, now moving on with the explanation of the saboteur card, which I think is so great. I'm just going to read it out to you. It says, stop. Stop blaming others. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop waiting for the next bad thing to happen. You are manifesting negative events simply because that is what you expect to happen. The power of suggestion is so powerful. You need to now turn the tides and begin to believe in the power of positive thinking and actions. Your life will do such a quick turnaround. You will be hard pressed to remember the stress that you may be feeling at this very moment. Right now, think of something good that has happened to you in the past few days, and tomorrow do the same, and the day after that, and begin to bring that more into your daily life. Okay, so very similar messaging around self sabotage, self um what's the word I'm looking for? Self, oh my goodness, it just left the building, that thought did. Personal responsibility is what I meant to say. There it is. So April is calling. It's kind of a tough love month. It's calling for you to really look at yourself, right? And maybe I was seeing that image of big picture, but interesting, when I was viewing, getting that image of the big picture, I was looking through those little, I forget what it's called, but you know what I mean, where you're looking around at the scenery and you're able to see things. Actually, no, what that does for you is allow, it is, that's why I was saying it. Okay, I'm processing it loud, I apologize. As I was getting that image of those little things you put the coins in, you look through with your eyes and you're looking around at what you see. Those zoom in for you, do they not? They allow you to zoom in and see little details that you would not have been able to see with your actual kind of blind eye. That makes more sense, because when I was explaining that to you and talking about big picture, I was also being shown repeatedly a magnifying glass. And I was like, why are you showing me a magnifying glass? We're talking about being able to see big picture. I think big picture, I think by looking at things, dissecting, looking at things really up close, like you would when you're doing a scientific experimentation with your magnifying glass, then you are able to find the big picture. There we go. We worked it out in the moment. So that's why spirit, this is the way spirit talks. Okay. So you might take something, you might take an image, a message, a feeling as a particular thing. You might interpret a certain way, and maybe you interpreted it slightly incorrectly. Spirit will give you something else using your frame of reference to be able to go, oh, that's what you meant. Okay. So that's why I kept seeing a magnifying glass, because that's what they were saying. It's time to look at your stuff. This is why these 5 questions exercise comes in, because that allows you to look at your stuff. It allows you to move beyond surface level and go underneath. All right. Thank you so much, Spirit. Let's move on with the lesson of the month. So, what is the Seven of Wands and the Saboteur cards trying to teach us? What is all that energy all about? Well, another you can't make this shit up moment is we got the indecision card. And so it says on it, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. So, the reason we might be sabotaging ourselves, the reason we might be in avoidance mode, procrastination mode, woe is me mode, feeling like a victim to our circumstances, feeling like we need to explain ourselves, or feeling defensive, is because at some level we need to find balance. Something is not aligning. One of these things is not like the other, is what I just heard, right? So maybe we are talking the talk, but we're not walking the walk. Maybe we are like doing all this work around, this is what I want, and I'm taking actionable steps towards what I want to bring in the future, but I'm doing no inner work. And so it's just not aligning for me. Maybe what we're thinking is not aligning with what we are trying to manifest. Maybe we are in goal setting mode where we're dreaming of all these things that we want to bring in, but our self-talk absolutely sucks, right? Maybe we are constantly defending ourselves, feeling sorry for ourselves, and not able to rise above the BS. And so it doesn't matter how many actionable steps you take, You're always going to feel a little bit off kilter if you're not also doing the inner work. So these are just suggestions for you, examples for you of how these two parts of yourself might be unaligned. So exercise for you this month is to get clear, and maybe you do this by going in, by keeping your bubble, keeping your circle kind of tight this month, watching what you consume, watching yourself talk, asking yourself these questions, right? To be able to figure out why. That clears out the cobwebs, and that allows you to move forward. That allows you to move out of a place of indecision. So some things that come in are the state of indecision that we may be feeling. I feel like this is the root for some of us that leads us to stalling, procrastination, and avoidance. And the question is why? Why are you feeling indecisive? Feels like there's something unaligned for most of us in our outer worlds connected to our inner, or vice versa. So do ask yourself questions around that. I also keep hearing a lot of guidance coming in around body wisdom. Tap in and lean on your body this month. Okay. So, it could be, like I said, asking those 5 questions will directly get you into your body's wisdom. You'll be listening to your intuition if you do that. Giving yourself choice. Do you want this or this? Do you want to drive this way or this way? These are also things that come in and ways to tap in to your actual body. All right, so let's leave that. Lots of juicy, good stuff. April, yeah, I think this makes sense for April. We're already starting to feel it. We've got eclipses. We've got Aries season, which is the astrological new year, and spring is now here. So there's a lot of energy with that. And there's also a lot of like collective expectations around Aries in springtime. So do catch yourself if you're finding yourself thinking that something has to begin right now or happen. Maybe the thing can't begin until you clear the cobwebs. So do, have some grace with yourself around that. We've also got Mercury retrograde coming in. So all of that to say, just be mindful of what you're consuming. And do try to go there. Don't be afraid of the dark, is what I hear. Do not be afraid of the dark. Um, it's reminding me of this like Rhett and Link song. I don't know if you guys know who Rhett and Link is, but my teenage son especially used to be like super obsessed with Rhett and Link, maybe like 5 years ago. And they have this song that goes, "I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of what's in the dark." And I'm like, every time I hear anything about being afraid of the dark, I hear that lyric in my mind. And there you go. The dark, we're not afraid of the dark, we're afraid of what's in the dark, but the dark is where you're going to find the light. The dark is where you're going to find your freedom. So don't be afraid of going there this month. It feels like what I'm hearing is like you can be like a willing participant and go there this month, or you cannot be a willing participant, but either way we're going there. uh, so I feel like it will be a more easeful ride if we do take this guidance to heart. Let's see what animal messenger wants to come in for us this month. I will get um my tab up here so that I can. Are you not going to let me do that? Okay, I guess I can't. So I'm having some issues with my computer there. So I'm going to go to my phone to search for the animal messenger. That's okay. Just get Safari opened and let's see what comes in. Okay, so closing my eyes now. I'm going to take a few deep breaths and see what animal messenger wants to come in. And then we'll look that up and see what good, juicy guidance wants to come in from that animal. Oh, interesting. 2 very, very different animals coming in side by side for us today. Okay, let's go to the first one I saw. Let's see. Super interesting. I saw a crane. This is the first animal I saw was a crane. So, oh, interesting. So, first Google hit crane symbolism. Are you having trouble finding time for spiritual pursuits? Is it often difficult to concentrate on what's important to you right now? or indecisive, right? Or busying ourselves up with the BS, with the trash, so to speak. Crane, as a spirit totem and power animal, can help you with this. The crane teaches how to identify, we're going to the root, there we go, and balance priorities, all while showing you how to maintain focus even among chaos. Does this making sense? Delve deeply, go there, go to the in the dark, into the crane symbolism and meaning to find out how the spirit animal can educate, illuminate, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So some keywords: keen-mindedness, integrity, balance. Because cranes can walk, swim, and fly in nature, they also have associations with earth, water, and air. We're resilient, we're adaptable. All this is, the crane will help us with our resiliency and our adaptability this month as well. Okay, great. So we're going to leave the crane. I do just quickly see that they have distinct means of communication, rather. Crane medicine can help us learn how to make your voice effective, especially when speaking within your circle. Okay. And so let's move to the second animal for you. And that was a lion. See, very different, right? Animal totem. Okay, thank you. So the lion, regal grace and power, courage. Do you need the courage to pounce on an opportunity? Remember, we're clearing the cobwebs out in April. How do we do that if we are stuck in our fear? If we're limiting ourselves, how do we pounce on an opportunity? So we're going to lean on the crane and its resiliency and adaptability, right? We're going to communicate our needs, but we're going to be mindful about what we're consuming, where we're putting our energy, and then the line is going to help us with that courage that it takes to clear the cobwebs to go there. The lion teaches you how to walk your path and with integrity and honor. Amazing. Okay, so that I feel like both of those make a ton of sense for us this month. I already have the number in my mind as I just saw it flashing as soon as I looked up from my screen. So that number is 17. So let's see about the 17 numerology here. Okay, interesting. Just first hit for 17. It says the number 17 is a symbol of inner wisdom, spiritual growth, and the ability to manifest positive changes. It encourages one to follow their spiritual path with determination. Determination also came in last night with the message around personal responsibility, determination, and to listen to their inner voice, all saying the same thing, right? Lastly, let's go to our color. I do see a color. Let's see. It's a specific shade of green and color. Let's see. I was seeing moss, like a mossy green. So I'm going to see if I can find something specifically about moss green. If not, I'll just read out about green, trying to do this in a, in a way that doesn't take too long. Okay, not able to find about moss green in particular. So we're going to look at green. Green is growth, harmony, and tranquility. We knew that. Let's see if anything else wants to come in. Green is the color of life. It's associated with nature, health, growth, and prosperity. Color generates a result of blue and yellow, hence which has traits of both colors, bringing relaxing but also energizing, right? The image on these two cards, the Seven of Wands and the Saboteur, both are kind of in that Zen space, right? The green absolutely would help you with that, being in that Zen place. But interestingly enough, green can convey or has been used to convey things like jealousy, envy, and greed. Thinking of money, green money, especially American. They don't, you guys don't have all the colorful money like we have here in Canada. So there's two sides to this green, right? And I did bring up a feeling of, there could be like a feeling of feeling you need to explain yourself or defend yourself, right? So this feeling of someone being jealous or envious or greedy towards you, or maybe it's just all those kind of emotions are the root underneath something for you that's kind of keeping you stalled. So there's two very, very different messages here with this color green. Both can be helpful because I feel like you're being asked in order to grow, to reach the state of balance and harmony and calm. You have to be an active participant. That's another major message for April. You have to actively choose it. Otherwise, you're going to stay in this place of victimhood, right? And looking for reasons, looking for evidence to back up your limiting self-beliefs. That's human nature. That's what so many of us do. But, as my spirit guide Matthew would say, how's that working for you? It's not, right? So, color of balance renewal and is mostly associated with success. So, balance and renewal certainly are April kind of messages and energy, anyhow, given that we are now fully stepping into spring. So, I do love that very, very much. I will see if later on I can see if anything kind of comes up around spiritual qualities around moss, because I did hear in particular moss green. And although in the moment I couldn't find any documents, articles around the kind of spiritual significance of the color, I imagine there is some with the actual, you know, moss in itself. So if I'm able to find that, I will put it in the show notes for some extra further reading and knowledge. I do hope you enjoyed this episode, this April episode. Please know, let's not fear the dark, right? Let's not um fear what we don't know about ourselves. This is an opportunity to clear the cobwebs. It's to go there and figure out the things that you maybe aren't super aware of about yourself. Maybe there's some cycle or pattern that keeps playing out in your life over and over and over again, right? Maybe it runs through your family, your lineage, your ancestry. Maybe it's connecting to a past life. All those things are valid. Your feelings matter. Your experiences are valid. But at some point, if we're seeing that we are stuck in some sort of loophole, some pattern that keeps us from moving forward and really stepping into our potential, April is bringing in major energy around taking personal responsibility as to why that is and what can you do about it to move forward. I hope, actually, in this moment, I was going to say, I hope you have a great day. And I do hope you have a great day. But in this moment, I saw on the calendar an image of a calendar, the month of August again. So that reference has come in so many times that I am definitely going to make a note of it. And I'm going to see, maybe this is a cycle. Maybe this is the beginning of a chapter in April, and something that we're doing in April is then kind of coming to completion or full circle, or there's going to be some sort of check in the month of August, because that's come in so many times there. So April, May, June, July, August. Okay, so around 5 months' time, we've got this chunk. Very, very interesting. Let's revisit that thought in August. I do have a feeling, I keep saying bookends. So I do have a feeling like there's some sort of chapter that wants to be read during the season, wants to be worked on so that we can close and finish the book in August. If you in particular have some sort of goal, deadline, plan for the month of August, think about how this month and August are connected, right? So if we've got that goal set in August for something that we want to happen, what can we do right now to help get the ball rolling? And it doesn't necessarily feel like it's all action steps to take, right? Certainly there's probably some action steps to take, but I feel like right now we're being asked to at least kind of take the blinders off and see, why are we feeling fearful of that, or why are we avoidant, or why are we telling ourselves that something possibly couldn't work when it can. So I'll leave you with that. Have a great April. I will see you back here very soon. Take good care, everyone. Bye-bye. If you have enjoyed this episode, please consider hopping on over to wherever you listen to your podcast and giving it a 5-star review. Thank you so much in advance. If you'd like to keep in touch, please head over to my website, theintuitiverising.com, to keep up with all the things that I have been doing. I also have a private Facebook community for people just like you. It's called the Intuitive Rising Community. All you gotta do is request to join, and I will let you in. Keep rising.